Good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. My name is Onyinye, and I'll be taking you through today's training. And today's training will be talking about interpreting digital marketing data for your business growth, sort of taking you through how to begin to look at your analytics, how to begin to interpret the data that you see on your back end for the purpose of growing your business. You agree with me that the purpose of every business is to make profit. It doesn't matter if the business eventually wants to make impact, they also want to make money. So in the process of doing that, they employ several marketing and sales tactics to be able to do that. And digital marketing is one of the ways that businesses have learned to market their products. And you would notice that with digital marketing, businesses don't just use one channel, they use several different channels. So not just their website. Some people use the system, social media as well, to promote their business. And using all of these channels, all of these channels provide data on their own. There are different metrics that you should be tracking for each channel that you are using, and it's not necessarily the same across all channels. So collecting all of these data can be really, really confusing when you want to put them together in order to make sense out of it. So it can be really, really difficult. This is why I have decided to do this training to help you look at your data from an expert perspective, to tell you what you should be looking at for the individual channels that you are using, so that you'll be able to make sense of your data, you'll be able to form a business goal that makes sense with your data. So that's what this training is going to be covering. Basics on the things that you should be looking at from your analytics to make sense of the information you get in order to apply it to your business. Then before we begin, I would like to define digital marketing analytics. And what this basically is just any data, any information that you get from your back end. So if you are employing any marketing efforts, what is the result of that? The things that you see at the back end, any information that you get, any data, any number, that is what analytics is. And the purpose of measuring and tracking and putting it together is to able to make common sense with your data. So you are not just collecting it for collecting sake, because you are using several different channels. It makes sense to collect data from all of those channels, put them together, and make one common sense out of it. I don't know if I'm making I don't know if you guys are understanding me, but I'll leave room for questions in the end, so you can ask questions if you don't understand anything that I'm saying now. So you can ask at the end. For your marketing analytics, is just any data or information that you get as a result of managing your channel, as a result of monitoring the content that you put out there, as a result of monitoring the money that you're spending on your channel. Whatever the result of that is what your marketing data analytics is. Now, why it is important to actually collect this data, study it, and analyze it. It is important because it helps you understand the impact of your marketing. So it is not just enough to market, it's not just enough to put your business out there. You want to know what the impact of the marketing activities that you are doing for your business, what the impact is, what the result actually is. You want to know what the time, the money, the efforts that you are putting towards marketing. You want to know what the result of that is. So monitoring and analyzing your data would help you understand that, and this is the reason why it is important. It's also important to track your campaigns. For businesses that run campaigns online, that run paid promotions, your analytics will help you realize what the result of your campaign or promotion is. Was it successful? Was it not? What would you have done differently? What should you be doing differently? What was the impact of it? What was the return on investment? If you spent a certain amount, you put in certain efforts, what was the impact that you had in mind in running that campaign, in running that paid promotion? What was the result? This is something that your analytics will be able to tell you. It also helps you understand your customers better. There is a lot of information that you can be getting from looking at your analytics to help you understand your target audience, what they like, how they behave, their interest in certain on particular channels. It will help you understand how to reach them better. What are the sort of contents that you put out there, and what kind of emotion does it evoke with the people that you are trying to reach? Looking at your analytics will help you understand better what the people that you are trying to reach like and how you can reach them better. It also reveals the gaps that are in your marketing strategy. So it's not enough to just have a strategy. In the process of implementing it, you realize that sometimes your strategy does not do what you expect to do. There is no strategy that is foolproof. Sometimes you have to, try, do some trial and error in order to discover what works and what doesn't. And this is why looking at your analytics is important. It will help you review gaps that you have in your strategy and how to build bridges that would help you bridge that gap. So this, you would understand this better by the time we go into like the metrics to track for each channel and how you can sort of understand what that means for your business. You'll be able to tell how your analytics can, review the gaps that you have in your marketing strategy. But basically, all your marketing activity should have a purpose. There should be a goal for everything that you do that concerns marketing for your business. And you should understand as well what you want the things that you put out there as marketing materials to do for you. So when they don't do those things, there's a reason why you are not getting the results that you intended for whatever it is that you are doing. So the reason that is sort of the reason that is sort of making that happen is because there's a problem with your strategy. And looking at your analytics will help you understand what the problem is and how to fix it. It is also important to review, it helps you make data-driven decisions for your business. So you're not just making, you're not just guessing, doing things that are in vogue just because you want to do them. Looking at your analytics is important because it will guide the decisions that you are making for your business. So if you have a marketing strategy that you are implementing, monitoring your data from the back end will help you realize what is working, what is not. And as a business owner, you want to continue to do, the things that work for you as opposed to chasing, thin air. So looking at your data would help you make data-driven decisions that, would help your business. And in the long run, you would also learn the rate at which your business grows, which helps you make projections for the future as well. So if you know your baseline and then you build on top of that, you would see the rate at which your business grows, maybe monthly or yearly, and it will help you make projections for the future. So if you are at maybe 10%, 5% growth rate for 2021, in 2022 you'll be looking at maybe projecting for maybe 15 or 20% increase in maybe your brand awareness or conversion rate. So it will give you those sorts of data that would help you understand your business better. The last one is also that it keeps you on top of your content marketing. For digital marketing, a lot of the things that we put out there are content. So content is sort of like the basis of digital marketing. You put out content, video, text, emails, with the hopes that it will resonate with the people that you are trying to reach and do what you want it to do for you. Looking at your analytics would help you stay on top of that. You would continue to, do the things that the people that you are trying to reach the target audience like, and it will help you even project their movement. So people don't stay the same over the course of a period. Behaviors change, the things that they like change as well. But your analytics would sort of direct you it will help you, it will guide the movement of your marketing. So you know that this is where your target audience are, maybe for this year or for this period. This is what we are looking at. Maybe in 2-3 months, 2-3 years, that might change. And in looking at the analytics, you'll be able to tell the direction that your audience are going at a particular time, at a particular period. Your analytics helps you dictate that, and because you know what you want, because you know where they are, and you know the sort of things that they are anticipating, it will ensure that you continue to create content that resonates with them, continue to, stay on top of your content marketing, which is the key when it comes to digital marketing. Moving forward to where to start. So now you know what analytics is, you know why it's important to track, measure. Where do you start? What are you looking for? Where should you look for those things? If you have a business that you market on digital, then chances are that you own a website where you either sell your products or services, or one where you just use for content marketing. There's also a possibility that you have social media channels. This could be one or more. You can also have like a blog which you use for content marketing, as well as email that you use for newsletter. If you're on digital, there's also the possibility that you run digital promotions. All of these channels are places on digital where you can actually market your products, market your goods and services, and create brand awareness. These are channels on digital that businesses leverage in order to achieve their goals and objectives. So if you use any of these channels, we are going to look at the metrics that are important for those channels, what you should be looking at for each individual channel in order to understand your business properly. So I'll start with social media. Social media includes Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would also like to add LinkedIn here, even though LinkedIn is not like an inherently social network, but it's a platform that businesses use for like they use social media to manage their businesses. And for social media platforms, they have inbuilt analytics that can give you data from like your 1 day, 24 hours to a period of 1 month, a period of 1 year rather. So for these channels, you should be looking at what your post performance is. For the posts that you put out on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a yearly basis, how are they performing? Are people accepting it? What is the reaction that people are getting from it? How does that affect your business? In terms of like brand awareness, does it make people understand your business more? Do they fear it? Do they want to learn more? So you should be looking at what the posts that you put on your social media channels are, the posts that you put doing for your business. So you should also be looking at the reach, which is basically how many people your post was able to reach. With each channel, there is like a standard range of people that you can reach organically. So you want to measure against that, not just the channel, your industry as well. You want to measure against that and make sure that for the standard of your industry, you are actually beating that reach. You are measuring up against that. So you want to look at the number of people that your post reach, and also the impressions that your post make. What impression is sort of similar to reach. So while reach is the number of people that your post was able to get to, the impression is how many times those people see your post. So I know it's confusing, but if your post was able to reach me, so I'm one person, I might have like 3 impressions on one particular post. If you've been scrolling through social media, you would see that sometimes when you see a post and you don't sort of like it or react in any way, you will continue to see that post for a period of time until maybe Instagram or Facebook stop showing you the post, or maybe you will like it or make a comment and then you stop seeing it. So the analytics sort of tracks how many times people see that post. So this can be like a good or a bad thing if your impression is too large, because it means that people have to see your post multiple times in order for them to like it. which means maybe they are not very interested in what they are saying. It can also be beneficial because what the channel does by repeatedly showing people your post is because like it will now sort of be in people's head. By the time they see your post multiple times, it's like, what is this thing that I keep seeing? Let me just go through it. So it can be either a good thing or a bad thing. If your content, you want to attract people at, like, when they see your content, you want them to be interested when they just see it at first glance. But then if they don't, the channel also helps like to imprint it in their head by showing it to them multiple times. So you should be tracking that as well. You should also be looking at your engagement rate. And engagement rate is sort of calculated differently across different channels. And even for particular channels, it depends on what you are calculating for. So you might want to calculate your engagement rate based on conversion or based on engagement itself. So there are different ways that you can calculate this. If you're trying to see how many people engaged your content or how many people converted from your content. So you can look up this you can look up the calculations online. It's different for different channels and it's different depending on what you're trying to find out. But engagement rate is something that you should be looking at. There's also the location, the age, the profession, and interest of your audience. This is sort of like a breakdown of the people who are your followers on social media. For every social media platform, you have the opportunity to sort of acquire followers, to acquire like community. So you want to see like those group of people that follow you. Who are they? Where are they? What is their age? Like what age range they fall in? What professions are they into? What is their interest? In knowing these things, it will help you to create content that resonates with them because you know them true and true to be able to help you create content and help you decide the sort of strategy that you should employ in this marketing. It even helps you decide the channels that you can use. If you see that for a particular channel, the audience breakdown that you have on that channel is not the people that you are trying to reach, then probably either tweak your content to appeal to the age range of people on that channel, or sort of leave the channel in totality, because honestly, you don't have to be using all the little channels just because they are available. You should concentrate on what is best for your business. The best place is to reach people that are interested in your business. That is what you should be concentrating on. Then if you run any sort of promotion on social media, you should be looking at what your okay, let me explain this in terms of, so if I want to run a promotion, I would decide whether I want to run maybe a brand awareness promotion, lead generation promotion, or a promotion for sales. There are several different objectives, different goals that you can see for the promotions that you run on social media. So depending on what the goal that you set for the promotion is, you want to be looking at how that comes back. For a promotion such as brand awareness, you want to be looking at how many people, liked it, how many comments you got, how many people followed your page, how many people viewed your profile. So that kind of thing you want to be for if you are running a brand awareness promotion, how many people shared it. Then for a promotion such as sales, you want to be looking at what the click-through rate is. So usually for sales, depending on what your end channel is, it usually does not end on social media unless you have a shop on social media that you're directing people to. When you run a sales ad, there is a likelihood that you are trying to redirect people to your website. And when that is the case, you want to be looking at how many people clicked on the link that you have on your website. And you should not be looking at just the social media as well. You have to go to your website back end. I'm going to explain this later on when we are talking about interpreting data for your business. But you want to be looking at the conversion, like how many people clicked from that ad to your website. And if you are running a promotion for events, a promotion for people to maybe sign up for your newsletter, sign up for a conference, a webinar, whatever it is, you want to also be looking at how many people click through your ads. So that's it for social media. Moving on to websites. Websites are dynamic in the way that they are created, different from social media. They are not social in nature. They are just like a platform where businesses put out all the information about them so that if you are searching, you'll be able to find them. So for websites, the purpose of people visiting websites is quite different from when people go on social media. So because websites are different, the things that you should be looking at, the metrics that you should be tracking for your website is quite different from social media as well. And websites, the way websites are used, there are several different pages. So on the home page, there's the home page, there's maybe the shop page if you have one, there's the about us page, there's maybe the page of the people that work there, job opportunities. Some websites even have blogs. So there's like multiple different reasons why people click on your website. Or generally, if you want to track metrics on your website, you should be looking at your new and returning users. So new versus returning. How many people just visited your website for the first time? How many of them keep coming back? How many of those people are returning customers? You want to be looking at that as well. You also want to be looking at the traffic source, which is where these people are coming from. So if you are a business that uses other channels to promote your business, chances are you have your website links in several different posts, in several different channels on your website. Maybe people are sharing it as well. So you want to know where the traffic that are coming to your website are coming from. Are they direct traffic? Did they find the website on their own, or were they redirected from another channel? So if you know where these people are coming from, you would know where to focus your marketing efforts on, and you know where to improve. So if you are not getting as much people as you would want from direct traffic, it means that you need to work on your SEO so that you are searchable, you are findable. If you are not getting enough people from your social media or newsletter or wherever else you are marketing, it means that you need to bring something else on those channels in order to drive more traffic from there. You should also be looking at top pages visited, and this is basically usually you see the top 10 pages that people visit the most on your channel. And what this will tell you is like where people go to when they come to your website. If you have an e-commerce website and your top 10 pages that people visited, the shop is not anywhere close to the top 5, then you know that there's something wrong. Because for your e-commerce business, you want people to go to your shop. The essence of it that you want to make sales. So if people are coming there to look at every other thing but not going to your shop page, then you know that there's something wrong with your website and you need to work on optimizing your shop page. So these are some the kind of information that you get from looking at your top visited pages. If there are pages that are not relevant to your business, if there are pages that your users cannot convert from, then you should optimize for them to be able to, go to the pages where you want them to take certain actions, to subscribe to your newsletter, to download a material that you have, to, go to your shop, to read your blog pages. So these are pages that you should concentrate on, the ones that convert to, value for your business. You should also be looking at the average session that people spend on your website. But in order to make sense of this data, you need to know what the timeline is for your business. So if I have a website, I should know, as a business, I should know how long it will take a user to go from the home page to the shop page. I should know how long it takes a user to go from the home page to maybe the subscribe to my newsletter page, so that you'll be able to make sense of your average session. So if a user comes to your website and stays above that time, then you know that it's something positive. If they stay below that time, then probably know that they didn't take any sort of action on your page, like they just came and they left, and that would increase your bounce rate. And bounce rate is something else that you should be looking at for your website. And what bounce rate basically means is the rate at which people leave your website. So if I come to your website and just leave without taking any sort of action, then it's a bad thing, because it means that I was not able to maybe find what I was looking for on the home page or the first page that I saw on your website, and I left immediately. So I didn't add any value to your business. I didn't get anything from coming to your website. So you want to keep your bounce rate as low as possible. Then you also want to be looking at locations specifically where people are accessing your website from. So this one is important because if your business caters to people in Nigeria, for instance, and then we are getting top viewers from South Africa or from the UK or from US, then you know that it's irrelevant because those people cannot convert for your business. There's no reason why you should be reaching those people more than you are reaching people that actually live in the country where your business exists and where your business can actually make profit. So you want to be looking at where people are accessing your website from, and you want to understand why as well. In looking at all of this data, it's not just you are not looking at the data for the purpose of just knowing. You want to be able to know why the things that are happening and what you can do to keep them the way they are, if they are like positive things, or change them if they are things that are not beneficial to your business. Then for e-commerce sites, you should also be looking at your completed goals. On your website, if you own an e-commerce business that has a website, if you go to your analytics, there's a space for you to set completed goals. Like there's a space for you to set goals for your business. And a goal is just basically anything that adds value to your business, anything that counts as conversion for your business. It contributes to the success of your business. That's what a goal is, and you define that for your business. So if I have a blog, for instance, a goal for my business will probably be maybe for people to sign up for my newsletter. If I have an e-commerce site, this is specifically for e-commerce sites. So if you have an e-commerce site, the goal that you have for your business will probably be to make sales. So you want to get people to the last page where they sign up, where they add to cart and then leave. You know, the page where it says, "Thank you for shopping with us." So that can be a goal for your business. For a website that has e-commerce function, or not necessarily an e-commerce function, just you want people to actually get to a particular place. For a landing page, for example, you can set things that you want as a goal, and you define that for your business, because it's not the same for every business. And the way you set goals can be in 4 different categories. So you can set a destination goal. So this is just when people get to a particular page or section on your website, it counts as a goal. Like the analytics automatically records it as a goal. So it can be, when people place order and then they make payments and it says thank you for ordering with us, or a page where it says thank you for signing up for this conference. Just somewhere on your website that signifies that you've had a valuable conversion. So you can set that as a destination goal. You can also set a duration goal, which is something I was explaining before, where if a user spends a particular period of time on your website, it counts as a positive thing. So if you own a blog, for instance, and a user visits your blog and stays for 20-30 minutes, it means that they came to your blog, found something they were interested in, went through it, maybe even found several other ones. Because for me to be spending 30 minutes on a particular website, it means that I have something valuable that I am interested in, and even gone searching for more. So it's a very positive thing for a business. So you can set that as a goal. Then there's the pages per section. This is how many pages that a unique visitor to your website click. So it's sort of like when people come to your website, usually they come to your website for a purpose. They find that thing and then they go through several different pages just to read about everything that you have on your website. So it's very, very positive for your business. So it means that your business is actually providing the information that they need, so much so that they even go deeper, like from page to page, going through the sessions that you have, the pages that you have on your website to sort of understand your business better. The last one is an event goal. So an event is just like the way you set a goal and determine what goals are for your business. An event is something that you yourself define as well, and you set that as a goal for your business. So whenever a user triggers that action on your website, it counts as an event, it counts as something that was completed. And this could be anything. Maybe you have a link that leads to maybe your YouTube channel or to something else, or just something that redirects people from that your page to something else. If they do that, it counts as them completing an event. So it counts as a goal for you. It could be to download a material that you have, or to play a video, or click to go to like a different channel. So that counts as an event goal. Now to blogs, the metrics that you should be tracking for your blog. Blogs used to be like, blogging used to be like something fun that people used to do, people still do. But with the evolution of businesses, with businesses going digital, some businesses have decided to leverage blogs as a platform to do their content marketing. And if you have a blog that you use for content marketing, you should be looking at the traffic to your blog, which is like the number of people that come to your blog, where they are coming from, which is also their location as well, and the other platforms that redirect people to your blog. That is also a metric that you should be looking at. You should also be looking at the page views. Are people just reading just one particular story and leaving, or are they reading multiple different stories? That's a positive thing for your business. You should also be looking at your bounce rate. I've explained that earlier. When people come and leave, it means that they didn't find anything valuable to them, so they just leave without doing anything. You want to keep that as low as possible. Then you want to also be looking at your top performing content, which of your content makes the most impression, which of them reach more people. And you just don't want to, in as much as you want your content to reach as much people as possible, you also want them to convert. So you should be looking at not just your top performing posts, but the top performing posts that lead people to conversion as well. How many people are, clicking the link in your post? How many businesses are you getting from a particular write-up? How many inquiries are you receiving from a blog post that you put out, or a video that you put out? You want to look at how many actually make impact that will translate to money for your business. You also want to be looking at your SEO ranking. This is the tool that makes you discoverable online. You want to see where you rank. When people search you on search engines, where do you come up? If you don't come up in the first page, then you cannot be found. So you want to keep your SEO ranking high. And there are several ways that you can do this. It's the best to actually contact somebody that is skilled in SEO to help you, improve your ranking. You want your ranking to be high, and you want to keep an eye on it. You also want to look at the keywords that lead to your blog. What are people searching in order to find you? And in knowing these keywords, it helps you decide the keywords that you should rank for, which helps your SEO. So knowing the terms that people are putting on search engines in order to find you, it helps you determine maybe what you should be doing more of, the keywords that you should be ranking high for. And it also helps you determine what you should also focus on. So if people are searching for specific things in order to find you, it means that you should also like see what the industry that you are in is. What are people searching to find, like people in your niche? You want to rank for those keywords as well, so that when they search, you appear with your competitors. They are not just in the back end. You appear with your competitors, and your content is as relevant as what is needed at the time in your industry. You also, okay, I've explained your content conversion as well. Okay, yeah, your traffic source, which is where the people are coming from. People that are reading things on your blog, where are they coming from? How do they get to your blog? You want to know what that is, so that you continue to do more of that to attract more people to your blog. Then moving on to emails. Emails are they are very important when it comes to B2B marketing. A lot of businesses use this because it takes you directly into the inbox of people that you are trying to meet, like they are seeing you in their inbox, and these are people that spend a huge part of their day on their computer going through emails. So employing email marketing helps you get them really fast, like the fastest if you are like a B2B business. So for email marketing and drip campaigns, the metrics that you should be looking at are your subscriber count. How many people do you have as subscribers on your email? How many people have subscribed to your newsletters? You want to know what that number is. You also want to look at what your delivery rate is. With emails, generally, there's an industry standard for everything. So for everything when it comes to like analytics, not subscriber count. So for delivery rate is different with industry. MailChimp has what their email platforms have what their delivery rate is, but depending on industries, it now differs. So you need to be measuring against what is the norm for your own industry. So you want to be looking at your delivery rate, which is like how many people your email got delivered to. So it's possible to have 1,000 subscribers, but your emails get delivered to only maybe 5,000. So you want to know what your delivery rate is and why it is the way it is. So you also want to know what your open rate is. So you have 10,000 subscribers, only 5,000 people got your email. Out of that 5,000, how many people actually opened it? You want to know. You want to know how many people opened it. To help you tell if there was a problem with your email. For example, if you send an email that 5,000 people received and only maybe 2 people opened, then there was a problem with your email. Maybe there was an error that didn't allow people open. So your open rate is also very important. So from open rate, you get to your click-through rate. So when you send emails for business, for marketing, you usually include a call to action. This is what you want people to do. Maybe you are sending an email to announce your sales, then you want people to go from that email to your website. If you are promoting an event, you want people to go from the email to click to register your event. So you want to know, out of the people who received your email, how many of them actually clicked through? How many of them actually clicked to, go to where you want them to go? This is information that is very important as well. You also want to look at the number of subscribers after each email. It happens, people receive an email and then they unsubscribe. And this is not totally a bad thing. It could be bad, but it's not totally a bad thing. Maybe somebody subscribed to your email a while ago while you were looking for something specific. They got what they were looking for and they just forgot about your business. And then all of a sudden you just sent them an email and they're like, oh, I still have this subscription, let me just unsubscribe. So it's something that happens and you want to look at why it is happening. I just mentioned a reason why it is happening. It could also be because you don't send emails as often as possible, so people don't have you at the top of their mind. It could also be that you send too often that you become a test and just people are annoyed and they just unsubscribe. So you want to know what's the reason behind the actions that they take, what the reasons are, and adjust in such a way that it becomes something positive to your business. Then moving forward to ads. Tracking ads, measuring your data from ads and analyzing it is it's straightforward. I was going to say easy, but it really isn't easy. It's just straightforward only because before you set up your ad, you've already done most of the outbound work. So you already know how much you want to spend on the ad. This is your budget. You also know the people that you want to target, your target audience. You know their interests. You know where they are. And you have a purpose for the ad already. So these are things that you've done already before you set up your ad. And then you set up your ad and you decide to track them. So depending on the goal that you set for your ad, you should be looking at how much you spent and what that money was able to get for you. So your ad spend, your ad reach, the number of people who saw your ad, the ad impressions, the number of times they saw it. So this is just basically, this is like the basics of the things that you should be checking in your ad. Then depending on the conversion that you set for the ad, you should be checking the engagement rate, how many people liked it, how many people left comments, how many people shared it. These are metrics that are important if you are running a brand awareness ad. So you want as many people as possible to see it. You want as many people to like, to share, to leave comments, make it sort of like interactive and interesting conversation. You want to, create a buzz. So that's what brand awareness ads do for you. Then you also want to be looking at conversions as well. If you are running a ad that is based on sales. So you want sales or maybe event promotions. You want to look at how many people clicked through. So how many clicks did you get? How many people saw the ad and click on it? You also, as I mentioned that you should be measuring this against your ad reach and impression. So if you are reaching a lot of people, and not a lot of people are actually converting, then it means that there's something with your ad. And with ads, it is important to measure as you go. Don't wait till the end of the ad before you begin to, go through your data. Just do it as you go so that you will know when to tweak things. So if a lot of people are seeing your ad, but not a lot of them are clicking, it means that maybe you set the wrong goal for the ad, or the call to action is not very pronounced. People are not seeing it. People don't understand what they should do from seeing your ad. So you should check what the conversion is, how many people click, how many people sign through. Then you should also be checking of the number of leads that you generated. This is if you are running lead generation ads. So with lead generation ads, you can attach a form to the ad and people fill it and submit. You want to collect data. That's why you're running a lead generation ad. So you want to know how many people actually went through that. So depending on the goal that you set for your ad, that determines what you should be tracking for the ad. Then now we've gone through sort of all the metrics that you should be checking for different channels. Now to interpreting the data that you get for your business. How do you put all of this together to make sense in your business? So the first one is you need to know your business first. The first background thing is that you need to know your business. There's no how that you can interpret your business data. There's no how you know what a specific information or like a number means for your business if you don't understand your business and how your business operates online, how the industry that you run in, how it functions online, how the players in your industry actually play online. You need to understand that in order to make sense of the data that you get from the analytics. So what type of business do you run? Do you run a B2B business, a B2C, is it product-based or service-based? What kind of business do you run? You need to know that. You need to also know what your target audience is. So for target audience, there is like a lot of mistakes that people make with target audience. When they group their target audience to like maybe age range of people or maybe their profession. Your target audience needs to be as wide as possible and as detailed as possible. I'm going to explain this very, very shortly. So the target audience, you want to make sure that even though like you've narrowed it down to maybe people who are from 25 to 50, as it wants to large, maybe 25 to 50, you want to make sure that in that bracket it covers like several different personalities. So you are offering a product or a service. This is probably one of the few things that these people have in common. When you put people in that age range, they have several different things that make up them. Like they are not one group of people, and you should not treat them as one group of people. In that group of people, they have several different interests, several different professions, several different stages of life. But like there are several different things that differentiate them, and you should put that into consideration when you are creating your target audience. Make sure that you know who your target audience are, the several different places where they operate online, the several different interests that they have, the several different professions. There are several different things that make up people. You cannot just say, these are my set of people and just put them in one basket. It doesn't work that way. You need to understand them in the different levels that they present. So you need to understand your target audience. Then you need to also know what success look like for your business, because every business is unique. You need to know what you define as success for your business. What would be success for your business if you are looking back in like maybe 10, 15 years? In the long term, what are you trying to do? What is important for your business? What would you consider? What is that thing that if you achieve for your business, you would say you've achieved success? So that you should know that, and for every business is different. You shouldn't be copying what other businesses are doing. Knowing what you consider important for your business will help you know where to direct your energy, where to direct your money and your time to. It's also important to know what industry standard you are measuring your data against. I've sort of touched on this before. For every industry, it's quite different. So you need to understand your own industry, how it is online, and what you should be measuring your data against. It's also important to know, like inside of that whole industry online, it's also important to know what your position is in your industry. Are you a top player, or are you just trying to enter? What market share do you own there? It will help you, build a strategy that would either help you penetrate the market, to dominate it, or to remain on top if that is where you already are. So you need to know what your industry is, how they operate online, and where you fall under all of that. Then it's also important to set data-driven goals. So in order to interpret your marketing data, there should be something that you're trying to, measure against. You need to know what your baseline is. So if you have not been looking at your marketing data, now is a good time to start. And from where you are, you should not be scared to put a number to your goal. So maybe you are at maybe a 5 to 10% increase in your brand awareness, or maybe your sales. Then now that you are looking at it, you probably say for the next maybe 1 month, or on a monthly basis or a yearly basis, I want this to be like a 10% increase consistently for every month for the rest of the year. You have to put a number to it. That's how you'll be able to tell that's how you'll be able to track your marketing, and you'll be able to tell whether it's working or not. If you don't know what your number is now, if you don't put a number to where you want to be in a month, 3 months, or 1 year from now, you will not be able to tell if you are growing or if you are just staying stagnant. So put a number to your goal. Know what you want to achieve for your business. You need to go and look at your analytics now, see where you currently are, and set these numbers, set a goal that is number driven, that you can now use to monitor your growth. Like I said, you need to do it for a period of time in order to see what your baseline is, the rate at which you grow, and then how to project. So you need to attach a number to your goal. It's the only way you'll be able to tell if all the things that you are doing on digital, if they are working or if they are not working. If they are working, how to maintain them. If they are not working, what to tweak to be able, to achieve that. Then moving on, you also need to analyze multiple different metrics together. So looking at singular metrics on their own it wouldn't make any sense to your business. It wouldn't be of any benefit. So if I just go to my analytics and just see, oh, I posted once today and 10 people saw it, oh, okay, that's fine. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't add or reduce anything. It doesn't add anything to your business. So you should be measuring it against each other. So when you put out content, when you market, when you promote stuff, don't just look at only your social media data. Don't just look at, if you are using several different channels, don't just look at one. Look at all of it. So like I explained before, if you are running a promotion, if you are doing marketing on social media or using your email or blog, and you're trying to achieve maybe sales on your website or trying to redirect people to sign up for your event or somewhere else, it's not just enough to look at only the data that you're getting on social media. Chances are it will not be correct because there are so many things that would keep people from, when they click on your link on social media. There are several different things that can happen between the time that they click on your link on social media to your website. They probably get distracted in the in between, or maybe your website is taking too long to load, and they will just fall in between. So you want to look at everything in that to get to see the big picture. On social media, how many people saw this ad? How many people clicked on it? When they clicked on it, where did they actually go? How many people liked? How many people commented? How did this impact my page performance? How many followers did I get from this? From people sharing this content, how many bots did I get from this? So you want to be looking at the whole picture. And to crown everything, you always need to go back to your final channel on digital, which is usually your website. So you want to see how much of an impact you made on the place, like the place where your conversion happens. You want to see how much of all that buzz, how much of all that click, how much of the like and everything converted to something valuable for your business. So look at everything on the channels, look at analyze different metrics on the business as a whole, compare with the results from your website. And the way that analytics are structured is in such a way that it's like a journey. So you need to look at it like a journey so that you see the whole full picture. If you look at all the metrics that we mentioned before, you will see that it goes from how many people like reach to impression to like the actual conversion. For your website, you will see the number of people who came to your website, what they did when they came to your website, how long they stayed, where they went to on your website, and where those places led them to. So it's a way that you can actually build like a customer journey. You already know that in order to achieve for your website, they need to go from seeing your link on social media to going to your website, to going to your maybe the home page on your website, or directly to the landing page where you want them to go, and you want them to go through the whole journey and get to your conversion. So look at the whole thing as a journey, and where there are gaps, you can sort of analyze why. If there's so much buzz on your website and it's on your social media platform and it's not reflecting on your website, it means that there's a gap in between. There's something that happened between social media and your website that makes people, that made you lose them on the way. So how do you create a bridge? You can, look at it. Maybe the link on your website is not working, or it's not in a place that is visible for people to see. Maybe that you have the creative that you use to set up the ad is not attractive enough. So that it will help you determine what the problem is. You need to analyze everything like a whole picture. One channel for digital doesn't work. The data you get would not be, it will not be comprehensive. Every data that you have on social media, you can find something that's similar on your website, and you can compare both, even with different channels as well. You need to, align the way you exist on all of your channels. If your target audience are within a certain range on Facebook, it should be the same range on maybe Instagram, LinkedIn, and your website as well. Everything should be, in sync. if you are reaching different people in different platforms, then there's probably a problem with the way that you exist on these different platforms. You need to be attracting the people that you want to attract on the different channels that they are, in the different ways that they want to be attracted. So analyze your metrics in, groups, in multiples, not just one. The same thing with channels as well. Do it in groups. Make it like a 360 thing, a journey. Look at it as a journey. Where do you want people to start? Where do you want them to end? In between as well, what do you want them to do? So determine that and analyze the data in that way. It will give you more info on what to now do for your business to get people to do what you want them to do. Then for audience segments, I already explained before, your target audience, they are not people. Use your customer map, use your customer journey to sort of determine the people that come into your sales funnel, where they come from. When they come, they all come at different stages. There are people that are just seeing you for the first time, people that are in their brand awareness stage, people that are in their consideration stage. Maybe they are looking at you, and several different people who do the same thing that you do. They are trying to, weigh in and see where they would spend their money. There are also people that are there as evangelists, people that are returning. There are several different ways that people interact with your brand, with the business when they see it for the first time. So use that. Not everybody who come into your business, even if they are coming at the same time, they are not the same people and they are not looking for the same things. So make sure that you are reaching your target audience at the place where they are. So if they are in their brand, if they are in the awareness stage, if they are trying to get to know your brand, make sure that you are providing all the content, all the things that they need to know at that particular time. If they are in the stage where they are trying to make a decision, make sure that you are putting out what your unique selling point is. Segment the audience, make sure that you are reaching them in the stages where they are. Don't just clump them together and treat them as one. You'll be able to understand how different people act at different times. If you look at your audience, in they are in, it makes you understand, like, people who are just seeing my brand for the first time, what are they looking for, what are they trying to do? People who are there already, what are they doing as well? People who have bought from me before, people that are returning, what did I do that made that happen? It means that if you are able to tell the best way that businesses that you convert to sales, it means that you'll be able to replicate the whole process and take people through your customer journey in like a seamless way, and everybody is satisfied, everybody's happy, they are fine with your services. And what this does is, when people go through your business and they are satisfied, they help you start your journey all over again. So when they go through the journey, they're satisfied, they would, tell people about it, recommend other people who will now go through the whole sales thing again, and it just continues to, yield better results for your business. Then the last one would be to be strategic with your decision. So now you have all the data that you need, you know what your customers are looking for, you know what you need to do in order to get them to do what you want them to do. So build that into your strategy. Don't just collect your data for collecting sake. Be strategic with it, because you understand your analytics. You sort of understand what it takes for your target audience to, convert. So build that into your strategy and implement that. Your social media analytics is available in your back end, or social media channels have inbuilt analytics. Some of them may be limited, but you will definitely find things that are useful on there. And if you use third-party social media apps like YouTube or Buffer, you would also find that they provide analytics. Some of them even provide some analytics that are not available in the inbuilt one. So look for the data that you need and use them. For your website and your blog, Google Analytics is the best bet. There's nothing that you need for the data that you would probably not find on Google Analytics. It is broad. It covers everything, even down to your social media and email marketing as well. You would see what the direct impact to your business is on your Google Analytics. but I know that Google Analytics is tricky to use. If you are a first time, it might be a bit tricky, but if you continue, it takes a bit of time to get used to. So you just need to continue and be persistent and just, find your way around it. But if it is too complicated for you, you can integrate it to Google Data Studio, which is sort of like a dashboard that is customizable. So you just customize it to show you sort of like the basics that you need for your website, the basic data that you just need to see from day to day, maybe the number of people who came to your website, where they visited, how long they stayed, what your bounce rate is, and what like completed goals and conversion is. So you can just set that up in such a way that you will find easy information once you look at it. So I think, that is the end of my presentation for today. And I'm going to end with this quote from Geoffrey Moore. It says, without big data analytics, companies are blind and deaf, wandering onto the web. So that's the end of today's training. I spoke longer than I thought I would. So we'll just take questions quickly if you have any questions, and we'll end. Have I been talking to myself? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Well done.
Okay. Thank you.
I would like to ask a question that might help everyone that's on the call. If I have an organization and I want to start, sort of tracking my data analytics, how do I build sort of like a report, right? How do I go about creating maybe a template for like a monthly report? And what are the, I know you've already talked to the key things that should be included, but, what formats do I use? How do I get my team to build this report? How do I make sure that all the key information is in there, and that apart from just having the information, there are also sort of insights that come from it, right? So for example, if my website goals are not being met, then there should be some kind of recommendations of how to change it, right? So how do I go about creating that for my organization? Thank you.
Okay. So the first thing I need to do is to set goals that sort of reflect what you're trying to do for your business. So everything that you do on digital should lead directly to your overall business goals, first of all. So when you have that, sort of gives you a guide to what you should now be tracking. So for a report, it depends on the business. So if you use both social media, email, and then your website, you want to give a detailed report of everything. But you need to do it in such a way that whoever you are trying to send the report to understands it at first glance. So it should not just be like a whole bunch of numbers that you put together to send. So if you are talking about formats, it could be in any format really. It could be words that you put in the table, but I know that we use PowerPoint just because it's easier. So we use PowerPoint, and what our report basically contains is so there is because we've done it over time, so we know what our measurements are. We know what the number of followers. We know what the number of followers was last month. So you check it against what it is this month. So there's sort of like a comparison of what it was and what it is. And then we now make those projections to like how we can either enhance that or change it totally. I'm going way ahead, but for your report, basically, for your social media, you need to know where you currently are. You need to know what you are currently doing, which is how many posts you do in a month. On an average, how many likes do your posts get? How many comments do they get? How many people inquired? You need to know all of those data. And depending on the kind of business that it is, you decide what you should be reporting for that business. Because if you look at your analytics, there's like a lot of metrics, some of which you don't necessarily need on a month-to-month basis. So you need to just decide what that is important. But I would say for social media,
I think we've lost you.
Oh, okay, but I can hear you clearly. Hello?
Can you guys still hear her?
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay, because I can hear her. I can hear you, Tim. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I can hear you now. All right, maybe it was my internet. Sorry.
Okay. So I was saying that for social media, I would say you need to know how many followers you have, how many times you post, how regularly you post, what the engagement for those posts are. You should also be looking at what your top performing posts are as well. So which post gets the most reaction, which of them get the most likes, which of them actually lead people to their website, which of them gives you click through rate, and also check your engagement rate as well for the website for social media. Then for your website, you want to look at your pages view. That you want to look at how many people viewed your page on a monthly basis. You also want to look at your visitors breakdown as well. So if you go to your analytics, there's a part where you would see like the number of people that came to your website, how many of them are new, how many of them are returning, what their average pages per section is, what the completed goals that relates to each individual is. You would see that in your analytics. You want to be checking that as well. You also want to be checking your location, the location of people who come to your website. You want to check where they are coming from. So it will help you know if you're actually reaching the people that you need to reach. Your audience breakdown is something that I should be checking. I forgot to mention it for social media as well. So for each social media platform, you want to check where your audience are, where they are, so their top locations and their age range as well, because your audience digests different things on social media. So depending on what their age range is, you know the sort of content that you target to them. For LinkedIn, the audience breakdown is wonderful. You could see where they are. You could see their profession. You can see even in their profession what level they are in the profession. So it will help you understand the people that are actually following your business. Then, in order to now project what you are going to do differently in the future, you need to look at what you've done before, where you are, what has worked, what hasn't worked. You can decide to tweak the things that didn't work before if you think that there's a potential for it to work. Because sometimes it's just maybe you deliver a content in a way that people cannot digest it, so you can redo it in a different way. So sometimes things that don't work can actually be tweaked to work, or sometimes you just throw it away and do something else. Then you can also test things. Honestly, with social media, people don't stay the same. People don't stay the same, so you can, do some sort of trial and error, but not like all the time. You can do some sort of trial and error in order to determine what works and what doesn't work. But it is also important to stay on course. Like it's important to always stay on course. Don't go totally different from what your brand identity is. Don't go outside of what your communication pillars are, because it will tell back on your brand. Just because everybody is doing it does not mean you should be doing it as well. And for each channel, there are content formats that work. There are those that that don't work. So depending, even if something is working on Instagram, it does not necessarily mean it will work on LinkedIn. So you might want to change the format or like the tone. You just need to try different things and decide what works for your business. And even if you find that, it's important to monitor. Things change. Don't stick to one way. So it changes. But to answer your question, know what the goal of the business is. Know what where they currently are. Know what the difference is in where they were and where they are. To be able to tell you what to report, what progress to report, and then how to go about creating content and reporting for the future.
I think there was one question in the chat as well.
Yes. Someone is asking, how do you get your industry norm for the different metrics?
Google. You can Google and check on the platforms themselves. So some of them actually provide the information that you need. I know MailChimp does, but if you check on maybe like frequently asked questions on those platforms, you would see, and you could also do competitive analysis as well. It's something that you can find for yourself. So if you look at how you're performing on social media, measure that against how other people in your industry are performing. Are they doing way better, or they are not doing so well, or all of you are in the same range? But it does not mean that if you measure up, like if all of you are in the same range, you cannot, strive to do better. You can't. But it just sort of gives you a ladder to say we are okay here, but we can be better. However, we cannot go lower than this anyways. So you can Google, check on the platforms themselves, or figure it out yourself, doing competitive analysis with people in your industry.
All right, thank you, my question would be, my question would be, do I have to sit down every day or every minute or per time of the day to track maybe the ads or my social media content, or I have to just wait, then check overall at the end of the week, check overall at the end of the month, is it working according to plan, or it has to be daily so that I can know how to tweak it?
Okay, so I would answer it from two perspectives, as a business owner and also as someone like a social media manager, someone that manages other people's businesses. So if you're a business owner, you probably don't have the time to do it maybe daily or weekly, so you can settle for monthly or maybe quarterly. So that's possible. But it means that you have people that are monitoring it for you regularly. This brings me to people who manage for businesses. If you are managing a business, social media, managing their digital marketing, then you need to do it at least weekly. Maybe not everything, but for every day, you should know what the impact of the post that you do on a daily basis is. Like if you do a post, you're supposed to monitor it at least for the first 24 hours. You monitor it so that you see, like on an average, how many organic reach, impressions, like engagement in general do you get within 24 hours? What is like your best, like you do it in such a way that you now top like what the performance is, so that you'll be able to know when you are doing well and when you are doing bad. So within that 24 hours, you should know what your organic engagement rate is on a normal day. It will be able to tell you when the post that you did is bad or when it's good. So for somebody who manages, you want to do that. Then if you cannot now go through like everything, maybe daily, you should monthly, like on a monthly basis, you should be able to look at your analytics and determine what is working. If you are not looking at it, how do you tell the sort of content that you should be putting out? Because there's a probability that the content that you did last week was bad. If you go and repeat the same thing the next week or the following week, it wouldn't give you, there's no benefit for it. So you should be looking at it on a monthly basis. Then I was going to say, yes, if you are running ads, then it's like maybe 3 times a day. You should be looking at it if you are running ads, because it's money and you want to be able to give people return for their investments. Don't just, allow them to spend, just spending just for spending's sake. So you want to look at your ads when you put them up, when they start delivering, you want to track them multiple times a day to ensure that they are actually, getting to where you want them to get. When you just running ads on social media is quite different from when you just post on social media. When you post, you want your posts to go as wide as possible, as viral as possible. There's no harm in it, reaching as many people as possible, getting as many comments as possible. But when you run ads, it's not necessarily a good thing for the business, especially when they are trying to promote like maybe an event. You want to take the ads to to the people that they need to reach so that they will get the results that they need to get, which is like sign up for their event. So you want to make sure that that is happening, because if your ad is going everywhere, apart from the people that are supposed to reach, you would reach people, they'll probably leave comments, but they won't convert, and that is like a negative result for the business. I hope that answers the question, Alvin.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So if that's all the questions, can we end?
Yes, I think we can go ahead and end.
Okay. It was nice having this conversation with all of you. I had more fun than I anticipated. If you are joining us for the first time, you're welcome. I forgot to welcome you in the beginning. You're welcome. Make sure to keep an eye out for the next one. This would be in 2 weeks, I think. So until then, you guys stay safe. Bye.